Hello and welcome back to my channel. In this video I will be showing you how I made this beautiful teepee that I used for a photo shoot. And because this was only for a photo shoot and it was a photography prop, I decided to only use 3 poles instead of the standard 4. I always start with a pattern, of course. I used 2 big pieces of paper after I kind of knew what shape and size my teepee will be. And by shape I mean I did not want to have a pyramid shaped teepee because that wouldn't have looked nice on the pictures. So I wanted to get the front poles, I wanted to get them perpendicular, and then the third one to have it nicely fall in the back. Because the material was very transparent, I had to make it double-sided. So in the front I just simply made a loop and I stitched it so I can slide in the pole later on. After I have the pattern, I have to add the seam allowance plus the extra material that will create later on my loop. Now it's time to cut out the pieces. For this you want to fold your fabric double. So you will cut on the fold. In total you will have 2 pieces. It's basically 2 triangles but mirrored, so a rhombus shape. Here I'm adding my seam allowance because I only added it in numbers on the paper. And as said, we need to cut this out twice, so we'll have 2 big triangles that are double folded. The fold you see in the middle are just pins to remind me that I should leave the opening for the tunnel where I later on insert the poles. And it took me a while to figure out how to put this together, but it was as easy as just sewing around and leave a little opening. Don't forget to follow your pattern and add the necessary seam allowance. When you sew around, bear in mind in the middle you'll have the tunnel. One side you can sew, but the other one you have to keep open. Do not sew it closed because otherwise you won't be able to slide in the pole. After I sewn around and I turned it inside out, it was time to iron it. Here I'm marking around 4 centimeters with pins, and I will just top stitch it on both sides, and then the same thing for the back piece. After making the top stitch, I had to make sure that the pole will actually fit. The next thing to find out was that my teepee was not standing up on itself, so I had to come up with a solution. I had to create a base for it. So after I had my pattern for the base, I cut out the 2 triangles using the same material. And before I stitched them together and I turned them inside out, I created these tapes out of bias tape. I just sewed them together and I put this on the inside. Then I sew around, I turn it inside out, and on the teepee side I did the same thing. So I had to cut open some seams and attach the same cords so I can later on attach my base to it. And I was finally finished. All I had to do is tie together the cords, the ones from the bottom and the ones from the teepee. I used the teepee for 2 photo shoots so far, a cake smash, and the second one was our family photo shoot. Here I'm leaving you some bloopers.